Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger. Now, before we get any further, man, first things first, shout out to God for giving me this opportunity. Shout out to y'all for coming through and showing your support. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. If you want to join the Rich Gang family RGF, be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications. Hit that like button as well as drop a comment. Now, the build that I'm bringing at y'all today going to be a very unique center build. As you can see, we're going to be able to pair up the shot creating ankle breaking takeover with the center position today. This build is going to be called, as you can see, the post facilitator. We're also going to be able to get pro contact dunks as well as even get over 100 badges on this build. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm telling you, this is a very unique center build that you would definitely want to use, especially more so if you like to go after the rare build names. Now, a post facilitator, I'm really liking it. Let's go ahead and get started. When it comes down to the height on this build, what you want to go ahead and do to for sure guarantee that you get that shot creating takeover, put this build to 6'9". Now, as for the weight, I'm going to go with 215, and then for the wingspan, I'm going to hit y'all with 7'7". Now for me, that is pretty much the best way I see it. If you want to go with anything else, you definitely can adjust it, but again, you do risk losing the shot creating takeover, which is going to allow you to break ankles as a center, but also the same exact build name. Now, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the actual build when it comes down to the finishing side of things. Be sure that you follow along exactly with what numbers I put in these areas. So for the close shot, I'm going to go with is going to be an 81. As for the driving layup, I feel like 79 is going to be perfect, especially with the badge count. Now let's go ahead and get into the driving dunk for the pro contact dunks. I'm going to hit y'all with an 84, and then when it comes down to the standing dunk, this is really optional, but I'm going to go with a 99, and right here, we're going to be able to get 28 badges. So far, looking so good, especially with the wealth that we do get in this area of the build. Again, just remember, if you feel like you want to go with anything else other than what I'm showing y'all, definitely go ahead and do it, and I promise you everything is going to work out in your favor. Now, for the shooting, I'm going to go ahead and max out that mid-range shot. Three-pointer is very essential on this build as well, so I'm going to go with the 77. And then, as for the free throw, this comes down to your own preference again, but I'm going to go with the 73, so I can take this build into any game mode. And right there, we're going to be able to get 23 badges. So honestly, even for the shooting, you're pretty much going to be able to shoot anywhere on the floor as well at ease. And that is really a key thing about any build when it comes down to it. Now let's go ahead and move on to the playmaking. So far, we're looking over 50 badges. When it comes down to the playmaking, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of 88. As for the ball handle, you're still going to be able to dribble, however, go with the 75. And then for the speed with the ball, this is all based off of the badges. I'm going to go with the 66, so that way we're still able to maintain the defensive end how we want it, and especially be able to max out the physicals. So right here, 23 badges for the playmaking on a center build is definitely going to be worthwhile, because again, more centers tend to go heavy in other areas when it comes down to the offense or defensive end, but this one, I'm telling you, very well rounded and built. Now let's go ahead and get into that defensive end. For the perimeter defense, I'm going to go ahead and hit y'all with the 78. The steal, this is really optional as well, but for me, I'm going to leave it at a 43, and that's what it's actually brought up to when you upgrade the perimeter defense to a 78. As for the block, I'm going to go ahead and put this to an 88. Offensive rebound comes down to your own preference as well, but I'm going to go with the 73. And then for the defensive rebound, I'm going to hit y'all with a 92, and that's going to allow us to get 23 defensive badges. So right here, remember, you're also going to be able to get +8 badges, 4 from the college championship or rebirth, and then if you completed each season, that is another +4 badges since we are in season 4, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and get into the physicals. Right here, of course, you want to definitely max out that speed. For the acceleration, this is going to be a very specific number. I'm going to go with the 70, so that way we're able to go ahead and put that vertical up to the 70 as well. And then finally, we can leave the rest for the stamina. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is put this to a 90, and this is pretty much what the build is going to be looking like. 28 badges for the finishing. Then we get 23 for the shooting, playmaking, and even the defensive end. And remember, you have the potential for 8 more badges, so you can pretty much put 2 more in each of the areas when it comes down to the shooting, playmaking, and defensive end to all hit 25, or you can even put them all into the defensive end. Again, there's so many different ways that you can go about it, but once we get into what badges we're actually putting on this build, it's definitely going to be worthwhile making. Now remember, this build also comes with the pro contact dunks because we did put on that 70 vertical, and also you're getting over 100 badges with being able to break ankles out of the center position with the shot creating, ankle breaking shots takeover. Now as you can see, we're also going to be able to get the sharpshooting takeover, playmaking, and then finally we get the glass cleaning. So all of these are really going to give you a plus 10 to whichever area of the floor they're provided to. For me, like I said earlier, I would definitely want to go ahead and add on the ankle breaking shots takeover for the specific center position. And then when it comes down to the next one, this is all based on preference as well, but for me, I definitely have to say that when it comes down to my liking, I want to speed boost with this build out of the takeover, so I would consider one of the playmaking takeovers, and for me, that would definitely have to be either team takeover boost or team ratings boost. I'm going to hit y'all with team ratings boost. I feel like that's best all around. And now, as y'all can see, we have made the post facilitator 6'9" center build. Going to be able to break ankles, and on top of all that, you're getting over 100 badges. Now we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at what this build is going to be looking like once you get to 99 overall, adding boost including your takeover, and then running with teammates that have floor general as well as defensive leader on Hall of Fame. So with all that taken into consideration, we did pick the shooting takeover of shot creating. So in takeover, with boost being bought and running with teammates that do have floor general on Hall of Fame, you're going to be in the high 90s for the 3-pointer, but your mid-range shot is definitely going to be able to hit a 99. Then for the free throw, this is going to be in the high 90s as well. Now we also did pick the playmaking, which means we get a plus 10 to our ball handle. So off rip, you will be able to speed boost. Speed with ball will be in the high 80s, and then when it comes down to the pass accuracy, this is going to be able to hit 99. And then for the finishing, of course, you're going to be able to get some really nice contact dunks out of this build with boost. The defensive end, more of the stats are going to be going into the mid or the high 80s. Really all around, this build has everything that you're going to want out of it. For my liking, I would definitely have to say, especially when it comes down to the standing dunk, going to be a very effective build on the inside. Now, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of these badges. For me, I'm going to start it off with Posterizer on Hall of Fame, and then from there, I'm also going to go ahead and throw on Limitless Takeoff. Now, Fearless Finisher and Fast Twitch are 2 badges that I really like to pair up together, especially because of the animations that we do get out of Fearless Finisher. For the last badge, I'm going to go with Unstrippable. That is a really solid one to go with for the finishing. Now let's go ahead and move on to the shooting right here. I'm going to go ahead and put on first Silver Blinders as well as Corner Specialist. Now, for the next 2, I'm hitting y'all with is going to be Deadeye as well as Green Machine, and then Silver Hot Zone Hunter. For the very last badge, I like to run Hall of Fame Sniper. We have one more that I'm going to throw on also, and that's going to be Volume Shooter. And then you can go with Clutch Shooter just to spread the wealth to help out your shooting percentages. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the playmaking. Right here, I'm going to go with Handles for Days on Silver. Another one that I really like is going to be Quick First Step. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and put on Triple Threat Juke. We got 14 more remaining badges, so just to be safe, I'm going to go with Unpluckable. 11 remaining here, so now this comes down to your own preference, but for me, I definitely have to say Bullet Patcher is going to be an essential badge on this build, especially if you're running with other teammates. Personal preference too, I like to run Bailout on Bronze. Then from there, I'm adding in Tight Handles. Any other badge that you like based on your preference, go ahead and put it on as well. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the defensive end. I'm going to start it off with Silver Clamps as well as Gold Rebound Chaser. Then from here, I'm going to go with Gold Rim Protector as well as Gold Intimidator. And then just to even it out, to be a perfect setup for the defensive end, you can go with Chase Down Artist on Hall of Fame to use all your badges. However, I'm going to go ahead and say another setup that you can possibly go with would be Silver Chase Down Artist, and then you can go ahead and add in Silver Pogo Stick. Just one way that I would go about it, but again, really something to consider. And this is a setup that I would be running with. As you can see, when it comes down to the finishing, we're going to be able to get 28 badges. For the shooting, 23. another 23 for the playmaking, and then finally 23 for the defensive end with a +8 for my rebirth build. Now this is pretty much what it's going to be looking like all around. And again, if you made it to the end, just know that I appreciate y'all and I thank y'all for making it. Go ahead and drop a comment down below as well what you think of this build and what kind of builds that y'all want to see next. Again, thank you to the man upstairs. I appreciate y'all for the support. Y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody who wants to join the Rich Gang family, be sure to turn on post notifications. Go ahead and hit that like button as well as drop down a comment. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all and I thank y'all. And man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank God and Rich out.